Are you broker than a tooth fairy working in a meth house in Tears of the Kingdom? Well, look no further, because in today's video, I'm going to be showing you the only way you need to know how to make all the rupees you'll ever need in Tears of the Kingdom. You can do all of this the second you enter free roam in the game, and make sure to check out my other videos for how to become super OP at the beginning of the game, get the Master Sword, Hylian Shield, all the things you can need Tears of the Kingdom. The first thing we're going to do is head southeast from Central Hyrule towards Faron. We're going to go to the Lakeside Stable, and we're going to pick up this shrine called the Shrine. Once up here, if you want, you can pick up some of these mighty bananas for food. This isn't actually part of the video. That's just like a little bonus. But once you get this shrine, we're going to jump off and we're going to head towards this area right here where that fire is. Once you glide your money-hungry butt here, you're going to notice these awkward-looking creatures. These are called Dondons. At least I think that's what they're called. This is actually a really amazing tip that my friend Stampeding Turtle found out, so make sure to check out her Twitch channel. I'll leave a link in the description below. But you'll also notice here that there's sapphires and diamonds here. If you pick them up, you're going to get yelled at, so just don't do that. But that's not actually what we're here for. There's a thing we can do with these Dondons that you wouldn't really suspect. If you hold up on the D-pad and navigate to your luminous stones, you can drop one on the ground. You're going to notice that this Dondon's going to side-eye it like a crackhead and a cookie. That doesn't make any sense. I don't know what I was doing with that one. But notice that the Dondons will come up and eat this luminous stone. There are tons of places to farm up luminous stones, but if you head east from Lookout Landing, there's a shrine here and here that you can pick up. And then there's a cave right here that we can farm up for luminous stones. There's going to be a few outside, and then there's going to be even more luminous stone inside the cave. There's a total of 5 Dondons in this area, so what I recommend doing is dropping luminous stones throughout here. So we're going to drop 3 here because there's 3 Dondons that haven't eaten one. I don't have any more luminous stones because I've been farming this up non-stop. There's usually 1 Dondon back here as well. And we will be going over where to farm up all these luminous stones as well. That's right, eat your little stone, buddy. Now, once you're Dondons, you don't actually have to sit here and watch the Dondons eat the stones if you don't want to. But maybe you're into that thing. I don't know. While we're waiting for our cute little Dondons to poop out all of our gems, we're going to move on to the next part. For this next part, we're going to need at least 1 piece of warm weather gear. You should have gotten the archaic warm greaves at the beginning of the game. If you somehow missed them, you can go to the sky map, and then you're going to go to the Gutenbach Shrine. From here, you're going to run just behind you, and we're going to head towards this little ledge right here. Once at the ledge, activate Ascension to teleport up through it, and then we're going to head inside of this tree. And then just to the right of this little fire, there's going to be a chest right here with the archaic greaves in there. Now, having cold weather gear, we're going to head from Central Hyrule all the way northwest. We're going to head to the Snowfield Stable. There's going to be a shrine here that you can unlock, and if you still are in need of more cold weather resistance, you can run towards the well right over here, and there's going to be a good number of spicy peppers. You probably already have a ton of these from exploring the area, but if you want, you can go up to one of the cooking stations. You can hold 5 of these bad boys in your hand and just throw them in the pot. This is going to give you spicy sauteed peppers with cold resistance for 12 minutes and 30 seconds. A horse is definitely going to help with this, and if you don't have a horse already, there's plenty of horses in this particular area. If you've never tamed a horse before, there's a couple of really easy tricks. What we can do is just look for a horse that we want, pull out your bow, and then hold up on the D-pad. You're going to want to select something that adds an ice effect. Ice fruit are great for this. Once we have that equipped, just shoot a horse right in the butt, and you're going to stand right next to it, smashing the A button. The second the horse breaks free of the ice, you're going to be able to jump on it, and then you can just hit the soothe button to be able to quickly tame your horse. If you want, you can register your new horse at the stables for an extra pony point, and that way you can also come back here at any time and get that horse. Now from here, it's really simple. You're not going to really want to sprint on your horse. If you hit the A button, you can go a lot faster on your horse. You can use up these little spurs to go faster. But quite frankly, what we're going to be doing, we really don't want to be moving that fast. We're going to go in a specific loop, so just kind of follow along where we're going. You're going to find bears and stuff like that along. If you want to go into bullet time, you can jump off your horse to be able to shoot the animals right in the face. To kill a bear, you need to shoot it right in the face. If you shoot it anywhere else, it's going to keep running away. This is going to drop raw gourmet meat and raw prime meat. Once you kill that bear, go ahead and hop back on your horse. Avoid going farther into this area. There's a big old dragon boy that way that we really don't want to fight. But you're going to turn left towards this shrine, and we're going to go kind of back between these rocks. I'll open up my map to show you the loop that we're doing. Essentially, starting from the stables, you're going to make this loop kind of like this. You can run through these trees right. This is where we found the bear. And then we're going to make our way this way to this area right here. Then we're going to make our way down here to the road. And then once we get to the road, we're going to turn around and we can continue this loop over and over. There are wolves around that you can kill if you want, but it's really not worth it for the arrows. When you approach the bears, you can use a spur to kind of get in front of them and then hop off, and then just make sure you get them right in the face. Do not miss, because they will run away and it's going to be a nightmare. Pick up that raw gourmet meat. Sometimes they will also drop hardy salmon, which is pretty amazing. The other thing we're going to be hunting are moose. They're going to be moose all over this area as you go. And moose you can hit, I think, anywhere, but just try and get face shots because you really don't want to waste arrows. We're trying to do this the best as possible. These will also drop raw gourmet meat and raw prime meat. This doesn't sound really exciting right now, but I will show you why you're going to make so much money from this in a moment. From here, we're going to continue on our loop. As you're running through these open fields, just make sure to keep an eye out for any type of wildlife that we can kill for this raw prime meat. Sometimes you'll find a lot more mooses than other times. We're going to grab this last moose that's in this area right here. And just keep in mind that when you're running through these open snowy fields, sometimes you might find more moose, but it's going to be limited to a certain number of bears per loop that you do. We can kind of look on the other side of this. Sometimes there's a moose that'll spawn on the other side here, but it's really not worth it. Once we turn around and head to this batch of woods over here, though, there's a high chance of a lot of moose being in this area. They're kind of going to continuously spawn in this spot, so just keep that in mind. There's also going to be a bear here somewhere. Interesting, I've never actually seen the bear sleep before, and usually he's in the woods, so just keep an eye on all of these spots as we're kind of progressing through here. Those hardy salmon are going to be so very nice. Now, if you get aggroed by this guy, you can actually just open up your bow and then equip a fire fruit, hop off your horse, go into bullet time, and just shoot him once, as long as he doesn't disappear, which it looks like he might be disappearing in the middle of my bullet time. No, he exploded. If you hit an ice dude with a fire thing, they explode into oblivion. It's pretty nice. Once you finish your first loop, head back to Farron. We're gonna check on our Dondons. And if you're lucky, you're gonna find a lot of gems on the ground. Sometimes you'll find like flint and stuff like that. We seem to be getting pretty lucky this time. Just run around this area and pick up all the gems that you find. Now, amber specifically, now the great thing about this too is they drop a lot of amber, and this might not be very exciting to you, but if you're working on leveling up any of your armor, it actually takes a ton of amber, and you can farm up a lot this way. Also, make sure to run all the way around this area because sometimes they'll poop out their little gems in the back areas back here, so just keep that in mind. While you're here, if you have more luminous stones, make sure to feed the Dondons more so they keep pooping out that sweet, sweet money for you. Now, essentially, just go back to Snowfield Stables and continue through this loop. You could do this loop as much as you want, where you collect raw prime meat and gourmet meat, and then go to Farron and collect all of these gems, but we're going to do something very specific with all of this meat to make even more money. Once you feel like you've collected enough meat, head to any cooking station at any stable or at Lookout Landing. Open up your inventory, and we're going to do two different things. You're going to get more raw prime meat with this than you will the gourmet meat, but if you hold 5 of the gourmet meat in your hands and cook it in the pot, you're going to get something called a meat skewer with full recovery. You can do the same thing with the raw prime meat, and you're going to get a meat skewer that adds 15 hearts. You're going to want to do this with everything that you collected. If you select one of the meats and then select for recipe after cooking the meal, you can just select it to put all of the meat in your hands, and then you can cook it in the pot much faster. Make sure to skip the cutscenes so that way you can get through this as fast as possible. Make sure to cook up all the gourmet meat and the raw prime meat. Once you've cooked up all of your meat, head to really any shop to be able to sell your goods. If you're already cooking at a stable, you can look for Beetle, and you'll notice that these meat skewers that we made sell for 315 rupees a piece. This is almost double what the raw meat is worth on its own, and you're just going to want to go through and sell all of the meat that you cooked. You're going to notice just how much money we're able to make from this pretty quickly. This is only from me doing 1.5 loops. So depending on how lucky you get with the raw gourmet meat, you can make a lot of money very quickly. So pretty much any time that you need armor, you can just farm up this gourmet meat, farm up some Dondons if you have any extra iridescent stones, and just make all of the money that your heart could desire. Now, hopefully you won't have to work at that meth house anymore to make some money.